evening. Happy Sunday evening to you all. Well, if it's Sunday evening for some of you it may be Sunday afternoon or Monday morning, even potentially. Welcome to another episode of Watch Soup. I am your co-host, Bobby Legs, and Sanjay from the Engineer Wannabe, my fellow co-host, my partner in crime. And tonight we have a special guest. We're going to be joined by my buddy Ryan, who's also a watch enthusiast, and he you guys may have heard me talk about my watch consigliere. uh, Ryan, not only is he a legal consigliere, he's a real consigliere, but he's also my watch. You're a lawyer, not a consigliere to the mob or anything like that. So let me clear that up. Um, but he's also my watch consigliere. Ryan, how are you, man? And what do you have on wrist tonight?
I'm doing well, thanks, Rob. I'm actually, I went low key tonight. I am wearing my Zin 856, which I had on. I was on Daddy Patrol today, and I went to Legoland, so I figured I would just keep this on for nice, easy visibility.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's such a great piece. We've talked about the 856, the Zin 856, probably more than any two people have ever talked about the 856 um, on our own time, texting back and forth. So I'm glad you have it, and I can't wait to the day when we can meet up and
Soon.
we can, and yeah, soon, very soon. Once I get my second shot, we'll figure something out. Very soon. Sanjay, how are you, man? How was your weekend?
Good, good. Probably one of the best weekends I've had in a while. So, really excited about the warm weather, and
Yeah,
being able to go out, play soccer with the kids, and kick the ball around, wrestle with them, basketball. So
yeah,
did all of that this weekend, and it felt great. I didn't want to at first because I feel like I've been sitting down all day for the past 6 months,
yeah.
but but yeah, getting out and getting the blood going was really nice.
That's
Um,
awesome. What do you got on wrist?
On wrist, I have my Grand Seiko SB GJ201 GMT high beat.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
that's it.
Really
That's
nice.
that's the one you've reconnected with it, right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
reconnected.
Um, Ryan, Sanjay had recently bought a Railmaster, and then he felt like that was kind of replacing his Grand Seiko, his GMT Grand Seiko, so he was trying to reconnect with it, and looks like you guys been reunited, man. That's awesome. Good for
Yeah,
you, man.
And it feels so good.
Yeah,
it
it feels
does.
so good.
I'm glad I didn't, go on the first whim and trade it in for. I was looking at the E384 Zenith revival.
Hmm.
I'm glad I didn't do that. I'll just save up for the E384.
Awesome. Awesome. And I can't get this off wrist, man. I can't. I forgot to put the webcam on, but
Oh, no, that's great. I love it.
the
Yeah.
Zin U 50. Hold on, let me put the my fancy camera my fancy camera on. Come on.
Oh,
Yeah, I see. I took it out today and yesterday, and I took some pictures while I was out with it. Just a super fun watch. Just geeking out on it, and honeymoon and what have you. Let me just switch to cameras real quick here. Just bear with me, and let
Rob
us.
Rob
Yeah,
will do it live.
we're doing it
Do it
live. We're doing it live. So yes. Oh yeah. Let me get the. Yeah, this camera
Oh,
rocks. I mean, you can get
oh yeah.
such great detail there. So
That's beautiful.
yeah,
It is.
thank you. So let's check the crowd. Let's see who's here. Blue shirt was first. I was on Watch Talk with the Punters. That's Blue Shirts channel with Thomas and NS something, and we did a collection review, a Bobby Legs collection review, and it was great. I had a lot of fun. Love talking watches. It's it's been a long day. I had did some videos, do some streams, but it was fun. It was fun. Underachieving watch collector is here as well. Um, I still haven't found a watch. I still haven't found a watch I gotta have. Been 18 months since I bought a watch. Now I saw this comment before the stream started. I was like, wow, 18 months? That is
Hey,
that is
I waited almost 10 years, so I got you beat.
well, I guess technically I waited like 10 years too. I mean, from buying that terrible torno to like getting an SKX. I mean, that was like a good 10 years.
And that was my first to get back in also. Or was
Yep.
it ISK? Yeah, just about.
Pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Amin, how are you? What's going on? Wrist Ross, what's up? Let us know, guys, what you have on wrist as well. Hey, Wilson. I've been seeing a lot of Wilson on the streams and on the super best friend watch friends. I can't get it right.
Super best watch friends.
Yeah, the Discord. Thanks, Jared. How are you? B Dev, what's up? To Peter C, what's going on? It's been seeing a lot of Peter as well. Keithy, what's up, man? How you doing? Chaz from the Berg. I just like saying that. Chaz from the Berg. Scott, is it time? It is time. It is time to do it. So we're gonna do it. All Money Watches, how are you? Matt S. Just in EDC, what's up, buddy? Wilson is here. Caliber YQG. Desk Diver. Kelly.
Oh,
Kelly's
Kelly.
here.
Hi, Kelly.
Yeah. My man James, yes, the Great Gambino watch reviews. He also has the Great Gambino channel. He does a lot of awesome VR stuff. So if you're into VR stuff, he's got that channel. And then of course he's got his watch reviews channel. Pete from Not So Obvious Watches is here. What's going on? Hey, Watch Chris here. What's up, man? I think I'm coming on next week to watch Chris's stream next Saturday at 8:30, I believe.
Nice.
Jeffrey, what's up? Ep, what's going on? Oh, Average Joe watch reviews. Nice. We got a great crowd here tonight. Really excited. So let's go into the comments from last week. So we let me share my comments. Not that many. Here we go. In regards to the Paul Thorpe video that we reviewed last week, Wolfgang agrees with Rick. Way too much drama, and Rolex in Thorpe videos. Yeah, I think we all could agree that there's always seems like there's something going on with Thorpe. Is this the next one here? Sanjay's right. In Deep Blue Sea, Samuel got eaten by a shark. I had to look that up, and because you had, when I said, I asked you if you've seen Jaws.
Yeah.
And you said, well, is that the one where Samuel Jackson gets eaten by the shark? And you were kind of right. I mean, it wasn't Jaws, but there was a movie where Samuel Jackson got eaten by a shark.
There you go.
Ryan, Sanjay has never seen a movie before. He's seen Rain Man and a couple other things, but and that's okay. Martin says Kevin O'Leary's first debate was taking the position that watches are an investment. That is the only reason why he buys a watch, and he tracks his watch portfolio like a stock. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm still not a Kevin O'Leary fan. No matter what. I know Sanjay likes him. But
yeah. He's funny, so.
All right, Sanjay. What are we talking about reviews?
Right.
Was there something else that went on this past week that was of importance?
Well, a couple here and there. It was mostly Watches and Wonders.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, I was looking at my subscriptions list, and I was like, oh man, come on, it's just over and over again.
Yeah.
I was pretty burnt out by the end of the week. But so there were a couple of reviews. Watchfinder always has an interesting review or two. There was one that came out this morning on a Seiko, but the interesting one was the $200,000 Vacheron Constantin Tourbillon Traditionnel chronograph. I think I got that right. Beautiful piece. I mean, if you are not really into Watchfinder, or just the dulcet tones, and just how slow he talks, just look at this watch. Oh man, it's really beautiful, and I think for that alone, it was worth your time just to take a look at this watch. It's a tourbillon, and I don't recall any tourbillon chronographs. I don't know how difficult that is to do. But it's a tourbillon and it's a chronograph, and it's only 12 millimeters thick. So just stunning. I
Yeah,
don't know. What it is.
amazing watch. I love that Maltese cross cage that the tourbillon was in. I mean, that's pretty. That it was it's just an overall pretty watch, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what $200,000 is. You know what I mean? I understand like the numbers. I don't know if that's worth $200,000.
Hmm.
Um, but I mean, it's a beautiful piece of work.
Yeah.
I saw the video because I'm a fan of Vacheron myself. They're exquisite watches, and I was trying to wrap my head around $200,000. And I said, well, it truly is a piece of art. The only problem is with art, each one is unique. It's a one piece deal, and this is going to be manufactured. But by the same token, I could understand spending the money if you have it.
Right, right, right.
I don't have 200,000 to spend on a watch, and even if I did, I don't know if I would. It's absolutely beautiful though, and it's truly, just looking at the finishing on it, the movement, it's just beautiful. There's not much you could say. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really a beautiful watch, and but interestingly, when I watched that, because I haven't watched too many Watchfinder videos, I watched a few. I was trying to decide if I like listening to Tim Masso better or Watchfinder, and the accent always gives it more of an allure. But I think deep
Hmm.
down, I actually prefer listening to Tim Masso. Something about his cadence, he's
Yeah.
mesmerizing to listen to. But a little off topic of the
Yeah.
video, but not really.
No,
I like
I prefer Tim Masso as well.
I like both. Tim is just like an encyclopedia that just
Yeah,
like it seems like it's free form. I don't
yeah,
doubt like the guy from Watchfinder knows his stuff, I'm sure, but it sounds very scripted what he's saying. I mean, it is a video; they're producing a video. The filmmaking though, the editing is just
yeah.
mesmerizing, and then the English accent, and you can be like the dumbest English accent person. I still think you're smart.
I agree. It's actually humorous. I mean, over in England that might not work, but here
No,
it's
no, I
great.
know, I know. It's like, oh, that person must be really, really smart. He's not that smart. Oh, but he sounds so smart. Top of the
Yes.
morning to you. Oh my God, you're brilliant. Okay.
So,
Okay, moving on, Sandra. What else do you have?
Yeah, moving on. We had Bruce Williams, who did a review on the Hamilton Intramatic chronograph, the manual wound version. So this has been getting a bit of buzz and hype. So it was good to actually see it, in all angles, because they slimmed it down a bit. But it wasn't very impressive when he did flip it to on its side.
Yeah.
It was
it's
gargantuan. Yeah, it
it's
was a
chunky.
slab of 15 millimeter, 14 and a half millimeters. So I thought that was good to see. It was a very detailed review, so there was a lot to dig into there if you're interested in that watch. But yeah, I thought that was interesting because finally got to see what it looked like from a side profile. Um,
Yeah. I was when I brought up the video, I was like, oh, he's gonna do a 15-minute video on the Intramatic. I mean, like that was a little long, and it was detailed, and it was good. Um, it's interesting to hear that I mean, according to the AD that he borrowed that from, that's the first time he's had a Hamilton like a wait list for a Hamilton.
mhm.
So and yeah, I mean, I was disappointed with the side of the case and how it looked, but also even more so, no case back. I mean, like that movement is not a terrible movement to look at all. I mean, that's a chronographs are, I want to see a chronograph in action, but I mean, I see aesthetically anything with a panda dial or a reverse panda dial seems to, you're hitting pay dirt. I mean, you're making somebody happy. So
Yeah.
it's not really a surprise that it's waitlisted in a sense, and that it'll probably sell well.
I actually like the original Intramatic. So this one, I really liked it. I was like, wow, the price point is fantastic. But
Hmm.
when he turned it on its side, I was like, wow, it's chunky. But then again, I wear a big pilot all the time, so I really shouldn't complain. But I just was a little surprised, especially being that it's a manual one too. I didn't expect it to be that thick, but it's still a nice watch, and for the price, I think it's great. I'm assuming you're not going to have to pay above list like others.
Right.
And realistically, I'm sure you'll probably be able to get it within reasonable time. I'm sure Hamilton's going to want to supply that.
Yeah, Pete's saying that Hamilton's weird.
Wow.
You guys talk about all the time. It's not available here in Oz in Australia.
Wow.
So that's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So next up, Jenny L did a hands-on review of the Blackberry Chronos. So that was kind of the flip side of another chronograph. This time it actually looked better than what the original, the 15 millimeter chronograph looked like, to me at least. When we did show the side profile, it looked like a bit slimmer than what I was expecting. And yeah, I really like this hands-on. It was well balanced. I like that she showed it on a smaller wrist because I have a smaller wrist. So I definitely couldn't pull off your big pilot, Rick. Yeah, so this is another great video. It was bang on the money. As soon as the watch was announced, this video came out. So it was another one of those good videos to see before you make a decision to purchase.
Yeah, I mean, Jenny does a good job. The one thing that I kind of I disagreed with her. She mentioned that the snowflake hour hand, like that she would have preferred like a different. But I mean, to me, that's the hallmark, right? That's the calling card of this Chrono series, right? Is that you can just automatically tell that is right off the bat a Tudor. Because of that snowflake hand, and I'm a huge fan of snowflake. I want more snowflake. I want that running second, that chronograph second to have a snowflake. You know what I mean? Like not enough snowflake hands for me. So that's the only. I mean, other than that, I think very in general very good. I mean, I just disagree with her on that point. But I this one also, no case back. No exhibition case back, and that's been the trend always with this series of chronographs that Tuner has released. I guess I'm okay. Because it's kind of like the part of their what they do, which I know I sound hypocritical when I talk about Hamilton and wishing that they had shown theirs, but I guess I'm okay with that. Ryan, what do you think?
I kind of agree. So I know you love more snowflake view, more cowbell. I don't know if you're
more cowbell.
But it does sort of interfere with the small subdials because it is such a large hand. It can really. I mean, if you're someone who's going to use the actual chrono, which I probably would never anyway, but it's something I would buy. So from a functionality standpoint, it does kind of obscure the dial. And as far as the exhibition case back, I think my view is that unless it's going to be like something remotely decorated to be somewhat above what's standard, it probably isn't worthwhile. It's got to be something special for me to be worth it. But I really haven't seen the movement, so I really can't say. But I suspect it's probably not. If they wanted to finish it, it would be worthwhile. But I don't know if they do.
Right.
But it's an interference for visibility.
I'd give you a pass, Rob, because this one's an automatic, so it's partially obscuring the movement anyway.
Yeah.
While the Hamilton is the manual wound, so to see, even if it's not that well decorated.
Thanks for the pass, man. Appreciate it.
And finally, it was Bark and Jack's, instant Watches and Wonders review of the Big Pilot 43. So I actually learned something new yesterday. I thought that they have brought down the Alange Odysseus link removal system into the Big Pilot, but actually, Dan taught me that this was actually in the Big Pilot first. So this bracelet, a link removal mechanism that Bark and Jack was really raving about, was already in the IWCs, and it went up to Alange. So I learned that was new. I kind of was disappointed that he didn't show the links coming out. He was talking about this amazing link removal system, but he never showcased it. So it would have been cool if he showcased it. Other than that, again, great shots, great video to get an idea of what this watch looks like. But other than that, it was kind of a first hands-on kind of review. It wasn't very in depth or anything, but a good video, I think.
Ryan, you're out of the three of us, you're the big fan of IWC. You have a Big Pilot. Our wrists are similar in size. The size doesn't matter. The size is fine with you on wrist. You know that's what a big pilot is. That's how you look at it. It's supposed to be that big. What did you think about this new release?
So it's funny, much like many other watches we've discussed in the past, when I initially saw a picture, I was like kind of offended in a way, and I didn't know it was. I was like, "What are they doing?" And then I actually realized what they did with it, and that it had an exhibition case back, and I just all of a sudden changed my perspective instantly because it's the movement is actually really nice.
Yeah.
You know, but there are some changes. But overall, I actually really like it, especially the blue dial. And it's. I said to myself, I could see buying this in the blue dial and on the bracelet, which is something I hate. I don't
Right.
really do bracelets anymore, but I'm thinking that's got to be heavy. It's got to be a heavy watch because my big pilot in the 46 is very heavy on strap. I could only imagine putting that on a bracelet. It must weigh a ton. But the bracelet, and I'm not even someone who likes fine link, but it just looks great together. You know, anytime you put that large onion crown, it just elevates the watch in a way. You know, at first I was like, well, why do you need that? You have the Mark 18, but it's so much better. It's so much different. I'm all about it, and I really did like the video because it got me on board to something that I was initially shunning.
Yeah, I got to tell you, on my review, my stream on Friday, this topic came up with a new release, IWC, and I'd mentioned that, like, you know, IWC is not really on my radar. I like them. I just don't think I'd ever buy one, and I thought that the 43 was a head scratcher, because it just, you know, you got rid of some of the sub dials there, that the seconds and the date and the power reserve, which I like about the big pilot. And I understand you make it smaller. Some things may need to be sacrificed, but I saw this video, right? I saw this Bark and Jack video, and Colin had mentioned something about the bracelet. Um, Penny had mentioned something about the bracelet, saying that was awesome, and it didn't really register. And then I saw this video, and I'm like, "Wow, wait a second! I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued enough that I would actually, next time Ryan, me and you meet up in a city, and we go to the Oculus where they have that IDBC, I want to try this on if they have it. And usually, like, you know, bracelets don't really move the needle for me, but I really like the tech that's on this bracelet, and how he raved about it, how comfortable it was. I want to try. I want to try it on. You know, I mean, I said the other day, you know, with this, like, you know, why wouldn't I get a Laco or a Stova instead? To me, that's what, you know. I mean, I wasn't really super impressed by this, but now seeing the bracelet and getting a better understanding, man, I would check this watch out. I mean, I would not put it out of the realm of possibility that one day I may pick this up, because I definitely like a pilot watch. Um, I like the look. I love that color, and I love bracelets. And if this is what this bracelet's supposed to be, what it's supposed to be, then man, that might be enough for me. That might be enough for me. And if I can get a little discount, that might be enough for me. You know, so
Discount's always good.
discount is always good. So, all right, was that it?
That's it for the reviews.
That's it for the
Back
reviews.
to the
Okay.
rock.
Yeah,
Here's Penny. It's a great bracelet. Nice hidden micro adjustment. Yeah, sleek and light, but I bet you'll dig it. Dig the IWC, Bobby. Yeah, I mean, I like how, like, that, you know, with that IWC logo on the bracelet on the clasp, you could just push it down, and you have that quick adjust. That is a game changer for me. You know what I mean? Because I need that quick adjust. I do, especially in the summertime. I have a medium to small. I have no idea. I have no idea how big I know how measurement wise, but in the grand scheme of, like, men my age in this part of the world, like, I don't know if it's a big wrist or small wrist, but that easy quick adjust is something that definitely appeals to me. The IWC Easy Link bracelet is one Bobby could actually resize. So I'm getting I'm taking some, right, and rightfully so. IWC was the first to have the on-the-fly adjustment on the class first. Okay. All right. And James, yes, it's soup time. Okay, so we'll segue into our first video. Now, Sanjay, you picked this one. Tell us a little bit about this one.
Yeah. So this is the video from Just One More Watch. He did a video earlier this week about a fake Seamaster that he picked up, and I'm sure you guys may have seen a Watchfinder video that was similar to this. I think it might have been a very similar fake, but so he got a white dialed, the Panda SMP 300, um, and it was a dead ringer. It looked
Hmm.
really close. Movement included, case back, everything was a dead ringer for the real deal, and it was scary, but at the same time, you could kind of tell.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, did you play along?
I did play along.
Did you
I
get? Did
did
you
get it
pick the right
right.
one? You
I
did
did
get
get
right.
it right.
Mhm.
I got it by the red text on the
Ah,
Seamaster text on the
yeah,
dial.
yeah,
It was a little blurrier on one of them, and it was kind of off color. It wasn't as nice of a red, but um, yeah, he showed them side by side. If you guys haven't seen it, he showed them side by side. Asked us to guess. He even gave it to his buddy, his rich buddy, Mr. X, who couldn't decipher it, who couldn't pick between the two, and he actually picked the wrong one. He picked the fake as the real one. So that's saying something. Not sure how much of a watch enthusiast he is, but he has an insane collection.
yeah.
Um, yeah, so I was really impressed at the fakes backside, the fact that they put all these plates on a ETA 2824 clone to make it look like, the coaxial, the arabesque finishing on the Seamaster, the coaxial 8900 movement. On top of that, I think they matched the beat rates. So I was trying to check the seconds hand ticking because the coaxial has a slower beat rate, slightly slower. And I was trying to check and see if the ticking was a bit faster on the 2824 clone, but I think they matched it because I couldn't distinguish between the two. So they might have been beating at the same beat rate, which is really like insane attention to
Hmm.
detail, including the clasp. They had the clasp markings right where they should be. So yeah, this was kind of scary to see something this close to the real deal.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
guys,
It is very scary. And just to let you know, I mean, I got it right too when so I said, but I got it out of dumb luck. I just thought the double batons at the 12 o'clock kind of looked a little slanted, and it really wasn't. It was just dumb luck that I got it right. Um, I'm not really too familiar with the Seamaster, right? I mean, like I haven't really held too many of them in hand. Um, so, but this whole concept of now people doing these incredible fakes of Omega. I mean, maybe it's been going on all along with other brands in Omega. I really haven't been too much aware. I know there's a lot of fakes, Rolex fakes, but I forget what Donald Rumsfeld was said, and I'll try to get it right. It's not the unknown unknowns. It's not the known unknowns that scare us. It's the unknown unknowns. That is the problem, right? So like now we have this whole segment of fakes that are just incredible detail, like you said, almost matching the beat rates, almost matching the details perfectly. The case back, the case, the bracelet. They also did a 9 link bracelet. You know
yeah.
what I mean? So it's scary, man. It was really scary. Ryan? What did you think?
I'd be honest with you, I didn't. This one I didn't see,
Okay.
but what I am curious about is what they go for. Because when you
Mm,
put in that level of detail, how I realize there's huge markup in margins, and then what are the realistic how many people want to spend X amount? I know they have like the super clones for
mhm.
Rolex. I don't, but I think they usually fetch somewhere in the range of like $2,000 for Rolex. I'm not 100% positive, which is kind of silly to me. I
Yeah.
don't know what the if they do it just for sport or they really just want to sell these and
Yeah, I
market the
don't
hell
know.
out of them.
I think he mentioned there was a 2824 in it, right? So at least it's
So
got. I mean, I would have figured, at least 400, $500, right? I mean,
Well,
that's
like
a
a
lot of.
Chinese clone of a 2824.
Chinese clone. That's right, right. So it wasn't an actual 2824.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, no, it wasn't a replicate of the coaxial escapement. It was just a clone of a 284, and then they, like Sanjay said, they put some plates over it to make it look like
Huh.
the movement, the Omega coaxial movement. So
if you look at the balance wheel, you can tell too that it's not a coaxial.
Yeah,
pretty easily.
pretty true. But to the I mean, like, look, I mean, I don't. I think what it would look if I saw that in a vacuum, right? And he and Jody mentions it as well. It's hard to tell, man, that that's a fake.
Yeah.
Only when you could put it next to the real thing, and then only when you can look at it in incredible detail and have the time to do it. Like, yes, the printing, you're right. That, like, I wouldn't have thought about the printing not matching necessarily the second hand if I didn't have the other one there next to me. So yeah, it's very, very scary.
He did mention that you could find out if you unscrewed the crown and started winding it. You have a
That's
a
the other thing.
resistance,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
with a 2824.
yeah,
that you can
yeah,
pretty easily. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it was like a large audible sound. Like that reminded me of my Damasco that had a 2824, and it made that same kind of sound. You're not going to get that sound from the Omega.
No.
That could fool a lot of non-watch enthusiasts, or both. That could, yeah. I mean, that could also fool a lot of enthusiasts. It was pretty scary.
Yeah.
Okay. Buy a GS string drive and it can't be faked yet. Well, I mean, I guess that's true, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So let's move along, and if we're done with that one, we'll move to the next story. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay, Ryan. So we have Federico talks watches, Rolex new release. We tried to avoid the topic, but they pull us back in, right, Ryan? So, and he went on a little rant, didn't he?
He did go on a rant, and I watched it actually a couple of times just to for purposes of this exercise, just to be clear. And he is, and to an extent, I agree with him, and he's pretty critical of Rolex because it's just really an unexpiring release. There's nothing really special, but that's typical of Rolex. And realistically, how much really has changed over time? Very little in reality. They've updated their movements, but and that's part of the hallmark though of the Rolex brand is that they keep it classic. And as I watched it, it made me think of the letter that John Mayer penned to IWC when he was super critical of them after they started releasing so many different models. He felt like it diluted the brand and the heritage of like the line of the big pilot. And and I kind of laughed to myself because I love to hate Rolex. I have Rolex. I have a sub, and it's something that I love to watch, and I understand why they don't change as much, and they have a great model. But one of the things that I was critical of him about was bashing them for releasing the two-tone Explorer, and I don't like the watch. I mean, I don't like it in two-tone. It doesn't really do much for me, and ironically, I have the two-tone blue sub, but I felt that it was disingenuous because he said, how could they do this to add gold to the sports line? But, I mean, all they have two tones for the sub, the Yachtmaster. I don't really see that as an issue. The Daytona, I don't really see it as a problem. It just doesn't do much for that particular watch. It just looked out of place. But that was my real issue with him. I kind of agree with him, quite honestly. What can we say? Everyone has such high expectations. Then you come out with, they changed the dial a little bit. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just, but that's what the market is right now. And Rolex is hot. You can't really argue it because, it's what people seem to want, but I don't necessarily love it. But so I kind of agree with him with the exception of, his rant about the Explorer because it just doesn't really make sense. I mean, they have two tones for all their sports models, but he found it to be so offensive. But I like him. I just didn't agree with him on that point.
Yeah. Sanjay, what'd you think?
Yeah, Rick, you hit the nail on the head. I was gonna ask about that too, because there's when there's all gold subs, platinum Daytonas, and two tone this, that, and the other. What does a two-tone Explorer mean? I mean, I get what he's saying because I kind of have that conflict in my head as well. It kind of it's a tool watch, but then you add precious metals into it, you kind of betray the original intent of the watch. And same thing with the Tudors, right? The Tudor silver, sterling silver releases. So that conflict is in there, but it's not like this is something that's new. It's not like this has never been done before. So I was kind of, questioning, scratching my head about why he was so offended by the two-tone Explorer. I kind of like the two-tone Explorer, but that's a whole other thing. It was kind of, it seemed like he really didn't want to make this video. He kind of did it for the views, it seems like. He was, it seemed like he was just this jaded, really done with it all, kind of, so bored with, he even said that, I'm so bored with this, I'm tired, I'm just done with this. And it seemed like he just quit the video at the end too. He's just like, whatever, I'm done, kind of, and the video just abruptly ended. So it was kind of entertaining to see like a semi, train wreck there. But yeah, I enjoyed the video just because it was funny. What did you think, Rob?
Yeah. I mean, he did get like he did get upset. Like it was I wrote down some of the things that he said. Right. So here we go. So the only thing that he was happy about, I took notes, was that they brought back the Explorer 36. Okay.
Yeah.
He said the two-tone is a travesty. That's a quote. No respect for lineage. And so kind of sort of, ignoring the point that the whole lineage of the brands, all the sports models, they have it. I mean, I think he's, like Ryan said, specifically talking about the Explorer. I mean, okay. I mean, at one point, none of these were two-tone, and at one point they became available in two-tone, some of the other sports models, right? But I liked what he had to say about the Explorer too. Which he said, complete waste of time, pure laziness. And I get it. I mean, I think it was a little strong, but then when he brought up the point that they were teasing us about something with the Explorer 2, right? And then you just come out with a new movement, which okay, whatever, but aesthetically nothing. I mean, you have to really look at it a long time to see a change. Yes, okay, you don't have the ghost hands in it with the black dial. The lugs seem to be a little a thinner or more contour, whatever. But he was really, really upset with that one, and so I thought it was entertaining. I do like Fed as well. Sometimes, he goes a little bit overboard. I think he, like Sandra said, I think he didn't want to make this video. But I just don't think he wanted to make this video, but he did.
I tried to look at it. I tried to look at it from a different angle, as him as his personal view versus him as a watch dealer. Because I think personally he might not love the fact that Rolex isn't being as innovative, but from as a dealer, you kind of have to tread lightly because it's just that's the best watch to sell. I mean,
absolutely,
you're gonna, but they're hard to get, and I don't know if he has the same connections as other guys. And I really don't know his brand that well as far as his sales. I haven't checked out Del Rey as much. I'm sure he gets Rolex,
they do fun.
But but he's not like probably not the same level as like Bob's getting tons of gray market watches or something, but.
Pete saying it's symbolism. The two-tone Explorer is yet another nail in the coffin of the Rolex many love, like finding the girlfriend you love has a guy on the side. Okay. Rolex secondary dealers are upset about new models that will have lower demand. Yeah, that's an interesting statement, Clayton. I mean, I feel like it perceptually we may think they may have a lower demand, but I bet you they sell all these. I bet you they sell the Palm Datejust goes. I bet you they end. I mean, that'll sell. That'll sell. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong. The Explorer was meant to be a lightweight watch in the catalog. Okay. My Chinese wife and her whole family are eating up those two-tone Explorers like bad soup. Okay. All right. Okay. I got to read these comments before I put them. Oil Money has a sense of humor. Nilo, how you doing? What's going on? Yeah, complete. You're absolutely right, Joe. That's complete bull. He did say that. I'm done with Rolex. He's to your point, Ryan. I mean, he as a watch dealer, I don't know how much of a percentage of his sales are Rolex, but it's probably it's probably a good amount. They could turn those watches really quickly and make a quick buck. They may not have like a high as a return on them because they probably have to pay a little bit more to get them. But let's see here. It was like Rolex was trolling a bit with their sneak peek video of the Explorer 2 release, and then they got it changed almost nothing at all on it. Yeah, exactly. I agree. Secondary dealers are mad that cancellations upgrades didn't create more hot models. Bobby is like Ron Burgundy. Yeah, I do read. You put anything in front of me, and I'll read it. He'll read anything on the chat. Exactly. That's where oil money can get me sometimes. America is not Rolex's only market, and there goes maybe the theory that we have a two-tone Explorer because someone had brought up that Latin America and Asia, that's where that target was probably for. Penny saying if Rolex had changed Explorer 2, they would just be a feeding the gray market to more and more. Yeah, I mean, we also got to consider that Rolex is very different than all other brands here, especially with the way the watches are treated in the gray market and how that reacts. Yeah, I do need a second delay. You're absolutely right.
You know what you need, Rob? You need to get the dump button. We gotta
I
get.
know.
We need Tom Chiasano.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Professor Bill Sanders has learned to read my comments before saying them out loud in a live stream. I'm gonna have to take a note of that. Rolex gets it 60% of the time, all the time. Yep, just like Sex Panther. Sanjay, have you seen Anchorman?
I sure have.
Wow! Of all the movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anchorman. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay.
So I was getting those references.
Excellent. But you know what, Sanjay? I mean, like there was a movie last week that you got the reference of and you never saw. And I'm forgetting which movie that was. It was a quote of a movie.
Right?
Yeah, it was a Spinal Tap. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen Spinal Tap, but I did get the reference.
Design approves. Finally, Sanjay hits it. Wow, a shocker. All right, Sanjay. It was Sanjay setting the bar again. Sanjay plays the jazz flute. He also loves lamp. Sanjay totally redeemed himself. Respect restored. Okay. All right. Well, let's not go too far here. He still's got a long way to go.
Yeah.
But this is a good start. It's 9:43. This is a good start. Okay.
There we go.
so we're gonna go to the final video that we're gonna chat about tonight, and the Teddy Baldassarre, the 17 of the best dive watches for smaller wrists. Guys, I fully admit it. I mailed this one in. I was just having a hard time finding some content that was, I thought, kind of decent and interesting that many of you may have seen that wasn't Watches of Wonder or Wonder of Watches, whatever it is, related. And the reason why I picked this one is because two of my watches appeared on the list, the U50 and the Black Bay 58. So for some of you guys who have bigger wrists, sorry, this video was meant more for everybody here on this panel. You guys, I don't know if you could check out the video, but were there any other watches on this list that you have had in your collection at one point?
Seamaster. I've had the Seamaster.
You've had the Seamaster? Okay. Did he mention SKX too? Did he mention the SKX? Or no? I thought maybe.
He mentioned the Kamasu.
Okay. Okay.
I'm trying to go through the list real quick. It was a long list.
Yeah.
Diver 65. I've had the Diver 65. I've had the
Oh wow.
I have the
Okay.
Octave. So yeah,
Excellent.
quite a
Excellent.
few.
I have a very limited list of watches, Rob, on the dive end. I really only have the SKX and my Breitling, so neither of them
So
are probably great for small wrists, by the way.
well, let's put it so let's turn this around in here and try to have a discussion here. Now, has there been a dive watch that you've liked, that you've coveted, um, but you just knew it was just going to be too big on your wrist and you never went for it? Is there anything like that? Because I could think of a couple, you know. Um,
Surprisingly, no.
okay, okay,
Um, but interestingly, not because I was afraid of it being too big. Because I remember when I tried on the big pilot with you, I tried on the I think it was the Hurricane Avenger, that massive Breitling, and I have to say it actually wasn't bad
yeah,
because it was super lightweight. But lately, I'm starting to become annoyed. Like I haven't worn my Super Ocean lately. It's been frustrating because I got so accustomed to the Zin
yeah,
that it just ruined things for me. Yet I still love the big pilot,
yeah, yeah,
which makes absolutely no sense. But I think what I'm finding is that if it could be a comfortable watch, I'd prefer it. But like a big pilot is supposed to be big, so I don't,
right,
I don't know. But I'm not. I kind of got very used to this 40 millimeter. I could see myself going down in size, even to 39, 38. But I think more than anything, it's the thickness of a watch.
hmm
It's just after a while, even my Super Ocean, as much as I love it, I would sometimes prefer just a slimmer profile. Maybe I'm just
yeah,
getting old, getting
yeah,
weak, can't carry
yeah,
it anymore.
yeah. Well, Sanjay, as the youngest member of the panel by a whole lot, because Ryan and I are the same age, and you're 30. Have you ever encountered a diver that you thought, man, that looks so great. I wish I could wear it, but it's just too big.
Yes, many of them. Except I end up getting it anyway
Yeah.
and enjoying it for a while. But easily the Longines Legend Diver, the 42 mil,
Mm,
um, can't manage that. The lugs are too long. Um, the Marine Master 300, uh, I can just about manage it comfort wise, but then the bracelet, the swing arm is too long, so it just sticks out like a sore thumb. Uh,
hmm
Even if I take all the links out on the 6 o'clock position, I just can't make it work. Um, there's a whole bunch. There's
Yeah.
lots. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pelagos. I bought
Yeah.
it. I had it for a few months. I enjoyed it, but too big, too thick.
Yeah.
I couldn't really enjoy it. So yeah, quite a few.
Yeah. There's for me, it's more like, and Ryan touched on it a little bit, and so did you, Sanjay. It's the lug to lug. That's the real problem. I have a Panerai that is 44 meter case diameter, but the lugs are short, real short. So that's not an issue for me. But not necessarily divers that I've opined that have come out bigger, but it's stuff like some of the like chronographs, like the I had bought an El Primero that was 38 millimeters, and the lug to lug was 47, but the 38 millimeters was too small. If I jumped up to the 42, then the lug to lug was like 52, 53. You know what I mean? And that would have been, that's a hard pass for me. I mean, I have to pass on that. Even my Girard Perregaux is a 53 millimeter lug to lug, and that, I mean, that just wears a little big, and I keep it around because it was my first luxury watch and I got sentimental attachment to it. But I don't wear it as much, and that's probably the main reason why. I used to wear it a lot, but now I have other watches that fit better. I mean, I like that 39 millimeter, 40 millimeter case diameter, 47 to 48 millimeter lug width. Yeah, I can go up to 50, 51, but I like the 48. And the thickness doesn't really bother me so much. But of course, I like a thinner profile, and this U50 is spoiling the heck out of me with its dimensions.
That's what it is. Zin just spoiled me. I really wasn't expecting it. I got a glimpse of it when I tried on your BB58 because it was pretty svelte and it felt good. And then I got this 856, and it's just once you get used to that, it's hard to get it come away. Now maybe I should buy myself a Piaget. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
But
lug to lug, Pete. That's really what it's all about. Totally agree, Pete. Yep, everybody seems to follow suit there. Bobby Smith, hey, gang, sorry I'm late. Hey, you missed so much, Bobby. You missed so much. You're gonna have to go back and re-see everything. There
and
are a
then we'll
bunch of,
test you on it next
and
week.
that's right. That's right. You'll be tested next week. Keith, there are a bunch of watches. Yes, I would consider if I had a bigger wrist. Yeah, it kind of feels like it's better to have a slightly bigger wrist. You know what I mean? Like maybe seven, like seven. I think if you had a 7 inch wrist, that's like almost like the perfect wrist size because you can go up and you can go down very fluidly. I feel. Um, anyway, that's my opinion. I could be totally wrong. Lug to lug is everything when it comes to watch fit. Thickness is a close second. I think I agree with that. I think case diameter falls to like a third in this ranking system. Oil money, yeah. Pete dropping some knowledge. He always does, of course. I want to try a mid-sized Longines Legend Diver, but nobody has them anymore. Okay. Are those like sold? Is that like the most popular
No,
size, Sanjay, the mid-size now?
it's actually the least popular, which is why EDs don't really stock them.
Okay.
It's the
Okay.
36 mil, but it would theoretically that would be a really nice watch to wear.
See, I love the GQ, the GO CQ
yeah.
panorama date.
That's like a
I
dream
love it.
for me. Me too.
What is it, like 43 or 44 millimeter? I think it's 43. I could be wrong. If that, see now with it's interesting with dive watches. Like, so my GP is at 53 and that's a little bit too big. If it was only like 51, 52, like from my experience with dive watches, I can handle that. And if that CQ is around 52, I would make that work because that's such an awesome watch. There's exceptions to a lot of things, and there's, like for you, Ryan, the exception you made for the big
The big
pilot,
pilot.
it's worth it, even though any other watch that same dimension and size for you would probably be a no-go.
It would, but it's close. I mean, I've seen pictures of guys where they try it on. You could tell they're way smaller than me in terms of not just wrist, but like they're just much more lean. They're just smaller guys, especially I see, and the watch is completely hanging over. It doesn't necessarily look right. It doesn't look terrible if they really wanted to wear it, but when they ask, hey, does it look good? It looks pretty crazy. But one of the things about that watch is you're not supposed to, most people wear it a little higher up. I think even John Mayer said,
Yeah.
So it actually will work for, if you're like Oris, like what, 6.75, it works. It's not hanging over. So, I can't foresee, well, they do have a 48 millimeter Miramar, which I would love to try. I don't know if I could pull that off. I really don't, that might be pushing it, but I have to try it because it might work. It just might.
Oh, so when you try that, I'll try the new 43. I'm saying I think dealers bag on Rolex in part to help sell non-Rolex watches. Yeah, I think there's some truth to that for sure. Agree that 7 inches is the perfect to flex between 36 and 44, which covers most things. Thank you, Riss Ross. Wrist size goes both ways. There are some under 40 millimeter watches that I like but won't fit me. Yeah, I mean, true. And with the tendency, well, there seems to be multiple trends going. There's been the long-term trend now for the last decade or so, ever since like Panerai came on, that for bigger sizes. And then now there's also the same trend going the opposite way with smaller watches. And I think like our eyes have been made, we're used to seeing bigger case diameters now, right? And so when we see like a 36 or a 34, it's almost shockingly small. But I think it's just a matter of perspective. Okay. Very true, Amin. The Rolex sell themselves. Dealer on YouTube's won't change that. Okay. Let's see here. Let's see. BDev, not a diver, but I sold my Boulevard Lunar Pilot because it was too big. 52 millimeter lug to lug, and I have a 7 inch.
Yeah. I would think that would fit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but I guess maybe like, it depends on what your preference is. Like it maybe for me, 52 millimeter lug to lug could work. For some, even with a bigger wrist, maybe It doesn't prefer work. I mean, maybe it depends on where the thickness is. Maybe your wrist is higher height wise. You know what I mean? Like I mean, we all don't have the same proportion wrist.
One of the things I've noticed though too, it's like some guy like they'll have like a smaller wrist, but the rest of their arm will be relatively thin too. But if you're someone who works out, you have like a bigger forearm, bigger arms. It won't look as ridiculous proportionally to the rest of your body. So it's all you have to take those things into. You can't just look at the wrist, I think.
Good point, Test Diver. You also have to beware of those male end links that can go over. That's a problem with an issue with your Omega, right, Sanjay? Don't the male links?
No, they're actually female links.
They're female links. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
It works well.
Okay.
I can't do the Speedy Pro because of the male end links. The previous term.
Gotcha. Chaz from the Berg, 42 by 48.50 is a sweet spot. Yeah, I mean that's a pretty good spot for me, especially 40 to 42 and 48. 50 is no problem either. That's a good sweet spot for me as well. And flat round wrists are very different. Sure, the lunar pilot always struck me as something that would worry even big. I'm surprised that the lug to lug was only 52 because it just looks massive. I think it's like a 46 millimeter case diameter. So when I think of something with a big case diameter, I also think that I associate them with longer lugs, even though that's not true all the time. So it's just my perception. It could be incorrect there. The leather NATO on the lunar pilot helps it sit well despite the size. Yeah, that also will help too, right? Especially with thickness. It depends on what you're wearing it on, right? All right. Well, so guys, we're reaching up to an hour here. Let's see here. Let's wrap up some of the comments here, guys, if you want to get them in. Dive watch popularity seems to be slowly waning. Okay, interesting point. Interesting.
I've noticed that too, actually.
Yeah, actually for me, especially since now I like Amin's Breguet. But
yeah. That Breguet is awesome. There's one on Chrono Caliber for like 8,600.
I had my wife looking at it today because I was with my buddy. We were Legoland with the kids, and I was showing it to him. My wife was like looking over, so I don't know. Maybe she'll.
Oh man,
next gift.
That's such a sweet watch, man. If you get that, then I'm definitely coming over your house. I haven't gotten a sweet spot. New diver, 46 millimeters, fine. Vintage dress, 32 millimeters, great. Yeah, I mean Pete's definitely got a wider range of stuff there. Movie quote time. Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, guys, we have a few minutes. If you want to throw in some movie quotes for Sanjay, we'll throw them out there. No way, dive watch is king. Ryan, do you have any movie quotes off the top of your head?
Not. I have so many. I just can't think of. You know, I've had so many in my head. Probably could if I stop to think about it.
All right. Well, we'll give you a moment. Wilson, I'm walking here.
That guy who got hit by a cab, right? I don't know the movie. I haven't seen it.
I don't know if I know this. I mean, I've probably seen the movie. I just don't remember the quote.
It was like someone was crossing the street. A cab came really close, and he smacked the hood and said, "I'm walking here." Or something. But maybe I don't know.
Okay. Oil money. I wonder if the new Speedmasters, Bradleys, and Tudors are going to boost chronograph popularity. Well, so they did come out with some really good looking chronographs, right? I mean, well, of course, the Tudors, the Breitlings, coming out with some good looking ones too. It's Speedmasters. I don't know. I feel like chronographs are pretty popular anyway. You know what I mean? And Oil Money forgets more about watches than I'll ever know. So if he thinks that these brands will push popularity of the chronograph even more, then I'll take his word for it because he definitely knows his stuff. P saying for Oil Money, Bat is just chicken of the cave. Okay, yeah, I mean sure. Okay, let's move on.
Rats are chickens too, then.
Yeah, right. Okay, Houston, we have a problem.
Apollo 13?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I haven't watched it, but There you go.
Wilson's saying, yeah. Oh, so it's Midnight Cowboy. Okay. Let's see here. Let's get a couple more in. Here, Ever said maybe I'm projecting my interest in 5 watches is definitely waning. Dive watches, I think. I'm saying, yeah, I think dive watches. I think they will always just popular. I mean, I don't see them that waning. I mean, they just look good, right? And they're useful, right?
I'm on the fence. I think for the most part, I'm leaning towards other things, but I really do like your U50. And there's things that come out. I mean, I'll always love dive watches though, but there's other things that are popping up now, especially in the Flieger category.
Okie dokie. Let me see. I'm trying to find some. You complete me.
Not a clue.
All right. That's I believe that's Jerry Maguire.
Yep.
Okay.
I haven't even heard of that.
With Tom Cruise and Cuba Gooding Jr. and Renee Zellweger?
Nope.
Classic.
Okay.
Who's
All
Cuba
right.
Gooding Jr.?
Okay.
I know Tom Cruise.
Play it again, Sam.
Got nothing.
Okay. What was that?
Benchwarmers?
Benchwarmers? No. That's Casablanca. Have you heard of Casablanca?
No.
Oh.
Wait, isn't that a boat or a ship or something?
Yes. It's a boat ship. Yes. I See Dead People.
6th Sense.
Okay. All right.
I have seen that.
I have the need for speed.
Well, this is kind of a cheat because it was there in the last section last week.
Oh.
So, which I haven't seen.
You talking to me?
Oh, it's classic.
Al Pacino? It's got Al Pacino, right? I don't know what movie, but Al Pacino.
So it's not Al Pacino, but it's somebody who's been in some movies with Al Pacino.
Okay. Who is it?
It's close.
Yeah, so it's Taxi Driver. It's Robert De Niro.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You should watch that though if you get the chance.
Yeah.
Careful, man. There's a beverage here.
That sounds like something the dude would say in the Big
Lebowski. Yep. Very good. Yeah. Very good. Let's see here. I'm trying to pick some that I think you'll get here. You see this watch?
Classic.
You see this watch? This watch costs more than your car.
That was again another cheat, Glenn.
You're getting Ross. Yeah, we've had this on. Okay. Well, it was coffee for closers only. I think that's what.
Right.
You can milk anything with nipples.
I don't know that one.
I don't know that one.
That's Ben Stiller. That's also Rob De Niro. What's that?
The Fockers, Meet the Parents.
Meet the Parents. Meet the Parents. Yeah.
Such a silly thing to say.
Well, you got to see the movie. Then it makes sense.
Yeah.
Take it on its own. It's a really disturbing statement.
Yeah.
Well, Sanjay, you're a good sport, man, and this is like one of my favorite parts of the weekend is doing this with you, and especially with the movies at the end. It's great now.
Yeah, I agree.
Hey, Ryan, you want to plug your Instagram?
Yeah, I forget because I haven't used it in a bit. Yeah, I took a nosedive after December. I've been sort of absent with a lot of stuff, but it's at Time Strapped on Instagram. Time_strapped actually. Is it underscore or hyphen? No, I forget.
I think it's underscore. That's okay, man. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's been a long absence. I've had life changed a little bit, but we're doing good.
Yeah. Awesome, and maybe one day we'll talk about it if you want and how it's changed your perspective in collecting watches. Sanjay, what do you got next, man? Got anything coming up this week?
Not that I know of. I don't have any videos planned or anything, but I'm sure I'll do something. But yeah, you can find me at Engineer Wannabe on YouTube, engineer_wannabe on Instagram.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Sanjay. I had a really wonderful weekend and awesome day today. If you guys didn't catch it, I was on Watch Talk with the punters at 2 o'clock today, and we did a review of Watches of Wonder, and we did a collection review, my collection review. So I was reviewed, and it was a great experience. Those guys were awesome. I have a few stuff. I'm doing a Tissot giveaway, the PRX.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if you guys, if you subscribe to my channel, you can check out that video. I just released it yesterday, and you still have a chance to enter. All you have to do is be a subscriber, put in a comment, and on Tuesday, I'm gonna do one of those comment randomizers, and I'll make sure that you're subscribed, and I'll pick a winner, and I'll put that video out on Tuesday. Hold on a second here. This might be a good question for Ryan. Let me just get this one here, because next watch purchases. Anything in mind, Ryan? I mean, I know you took a little hiatus for a little bit there.
I was going to take a longer break, but the U50 keeps coming back to me. Even though I say I want to get away from divers, it's just hard to ignore that one because,
Yeah.
I have the sub, but for some reason I don't wear it as much lately. I'm finding myself really struggling to wear it, and the Breitling, I love it. I'll never get rid of it, but I feel like I need something else.
Gotcha. Sanjay, anything?
Either Reverso or an A384 Zenith Revival.
So. Whoa! Now the Reverso's in there. Holy cow! Okay.
Reverso's been there for a while. It's
okay.
The back burner.
Okay. For me, nothing in the horizon for a while. I'm gonna try to. I have something. Well, there's a couple of things, but nothing solid. I just, it's just saving up. Anyway, guys, thanks again. Thanks everybody on the chat for stopping in. Had a great time tonight. And Sanjay and I will see you guys next week. Thanks, Ryan, for doing this.
All right. Good seeing you. Thanks for having me. Take care.
Good night, guys.